We're back. It's time for the 2024 Urban NerdCon. Join us in Atlanta, Georgia, April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel. Special guests include Underworld creator Kevin Grievous, Gary Gray from Fairly Odd Parents, from Nickelodeon, Giovanni Samuels, the Science Machine Michael Green, the Sci-Fi Sisters, and from Spaceballs and Star Trek Voyager, Tim Russ.
Hi, I'm Tim Russ. Join me April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia for the Urban NerdCon. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone con. I'll see you there. Live long and prosper.
Visit theurbannerdcon.net to get your buy one, get one free badges before the price increases. Remember, our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con.
A pleasant good morning to everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Carlos Brown. As you can see, joined by Coach Vann Pettaway. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Also, good morning. And Charles Edmond of the Alcorn State Radio Network, who is live from Birmingham, Alabama. Before we get into it, guest menu, of course, Charles Edmond, Coach Vann Pettaway, Coach Graves, Southern University football coach, joins us in hour number 2. Also in hour number 1, AD Wheeler Brown joins us. And in hour number 2, Coach Donald Williams. He's the head football coach of Plaquemine High School in Plaquemine, Louisiana. He's a Grambling State native. And now he's at the helm of Plaquemine High School football program. What's trending? Simply, we'll get into it. Southern University basketball season comes to an end, both on the women's and the men's side. And the SWAC basketball tournament championships are simply set on the women's and the men's side. Coach Pettaway and Charles for Southern University. I'm a Southern University alum, of course. The basketball season comes to an end. On the women's side, Alcorn State defeats Southern University 59-52. And then on the men's side, Southern University loses to Bethune-Cookman 73-58. When you look at the women's basketball team, Southern University, Coach Pettaway, and I'll be interested to get your thoughts, and Charles Edmond. This time last year, Southern University was getting ready to cut down the nets. They were the tournament champions. And, boy, you can see what happens a year later. I just think it's a team that I saw against Alcorn State. It's a team that you saw all year, up and down, consistently inconsistent. You're going to get everybody's best shot. And they got that coming off of that tournament championship. On the men's side, I think they went as far as they could go. Defensively, they were a very good team. Very good team offensively. They had their shortcomings, of course. We all know that they lost their leading scorer, but no excuse. Coach Pettaway, you saw them the last game of the season. Your thoughts on Southern University at that point, that last game of the season against Alabama A&M?
Well, in the game against Alabama A&M, I felt like A&M just played with more intensity in that game, and it was because they were at home and there was a lot at stake.
Mm-hmm.
They really got into Southern defensively, and Southern had too many. They had too many times in that game where they had scoring droughts, and then the same thing happened in the tournament. So
Offensively.
when you have scoring droughts, you got to be able to hold your opponent down. And at that time in Huntsville, that's when A&M was taking off on them. They caused turnovers. They got some quick and easy baskets, and it was just A&M's night that night. I think if that game had been played any other time, Southern probably comes out with a win. But that was A&M night. They had so much on the line. They had to win that game, and they came out on top. I still think I had an opportunity. Coach Johnson came over to the table before the game and talked and shook my hand, and then I wished him well in the basketball game. But I think Jaguar Nation, you all got a great coach. You got a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
This is his first year. I think if I was giving him a grade, it'd be a B+ in his first year. Now I know that's probably not good enough for Jag Nation, but I think
good enough for me, Coach.
Right.
I understand,
and I hope that's enough for the other people too, because when you talk about a guy like Coach Johnson, man, he puts everything into that team and preparing that team and getting them ready to play. And we as coaches, we can only go so far. The players have to pick up the mantle and move it forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that down the stretch, first of all, losing Joseph really hurt the team.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think he's showing the Jag Nation and everybody else, Coach Johnson is showing you all what he's all about. Because I know a lot of coaches, I don't care what Joseph did, he still be on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Still be on the doggone team. Now, I know coaches that will still keep that kid on the team because of his talent. But Coach Johnson is trying to create the culture that he wants the program to be known for. And so suspending that kid or putting that kid off the team was the right thing to do in his mind. And that was right. And if I was the coach, I would have done the same thing. And I've done it in the past. I have put my best player off the team because he was not doing things that was conducive for the entire team. You know, it was all about me and I. So my hat's off to him. And I just hope that you all give Coach, not Carlos, I'm talking about the other Nation, just give him a chance because he has proven, man. He had that team in first place all the way up to about the last 3 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't ask for any more than that, man. And when you have, and not only did he get rid of Joseph, but then there were some other injuries. You know, there were some people that were not 100%, and he didn't make excuses. He just went out and coached his team. You never heard him make an excuse. And I got a chance to talk to him after he lost here in the SWAC tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I congratulated him personally. And I told him that he was my coach of the year in the SWAC because I said, Coach, you all weren't expected to win, but you had that team fired up and ready to go. And then we talked for a minute, and he thanked me, and he left. But you all have I think Southern hit a home run with this one. I think Southern hit a home run with bringing in Coach Johnson.
Yeah, as I stated, the best is yet to come.
Right.
We're joined by AD Wheeler Brown. Good afternoon to you, Wheeler, because I
Good
know you're
afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're talking. We're going to get ready to talk. Set the stage for the finals today, both on the women's and the men's side. Charles, on the women's side for Southern University, and we'll get in later. Kind of, I think what some of their needs will be both on the women's and the men's side for Southern University. But congratulations to Alcorn State women. I would not have thought they would be able to accomplish what they have done, and they knocked off Southern University, then knocked off Grambling State University. So for those, and Charles, you'll see where I'm going with this. You know, I text you during the week. I said, boy, these tournaments, you know, they just kind of wear on me. I'm not excited anymore. Thus, when you look at what Alcorn has been able to do so far, that kind of strikes my feeling out as far as, you know, the tournament. Do away with the tournament. These are the kind of stories right here, what Alcorn has done, that will keep the tournament alive. Now, we'll get into later. I'm hearing some things, maybe location, but let's give credit what credit's due. Alcorn State women have really done an outstanding job, and they get a chance now to hoist the trophy up and cut down the nets today, Charles.
Yes, they do. They do have an opportunity to cut down the nets. Carlos and Coach Pettaway and Wheeler Brown, there's only a handful of folks that really know what this Lady Braves team has been through this season. Just starting with game one, Nate Kilbert was sick, didn't coach the first game against Mississippi State. We had some players lost due to injury. We had some players lost due to eligibility and other stuff. This roster has been kind of depleted the whole year. And even if you going into conference, this roster still was kind of depleted. But Nate Kilbert believed that the pieces were here if we just were able to figure it out. We threw away some games early in the year, Carlos. We threw away a bunch of games. Mm-hmm. Instead of the 6 seed, we very well could be a top 3. But it is what it is. I think it's a learning experience. And we figured it out kind of down the stretch. The game against Prairie View, we figured it out. Obviously, the Texas Southern game we lost. But, you know, we're playing Jackson State today. And recently, that last meeting against Jackson at our place, it was a 20-all game with 2 minutes left in the first half. We had the pace we wanted. We had exactly what we wanted. And Jackson went on an 8-0 run, led by 8 at halftime. They won by 8. So I think I have to believe that that's on Coach Reed's mind. Just like Grambling, Jackson's a deeper team. We'll see what happens, though, in the tournament. But a lot of people left the Lady Braves for dead. A lot of people. No one thought that we would even make the doggone tournament. But this just shows you, Carlos, if you get hot at the right time, and if you're playing your best basketball at the right time and get some wins and get in the tournament, who knows what might happen. And so I think that's just where we are right now with this Lady Braves team. And the emotional component. I don't know, for those who might know or might not, Nate Kilbert lost his sister. Got a call Wednesday when he was at the arena that his sister passed away. He was very emotional about it, of course. And right now, you know what his emotions are about. And his sister's looking down on him. And I think he got her hands on this program. And we'll see if that carries the day one more time. But there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of synergy with this Lady Braves team. If you look at the stats defensively, we can get it done. If we can slow down Jackson State, i.e. the second meeting, I think we got a shot. We got to knock down some shots. I thought our depth against Grambling, or lack of it, was going to hurt us, especially in the third and fourth quarter. You know, we had a 15-0 run, something that 3 weeks ago, if you said the Lady Braves would have a 15-0 run, you wouldn't have believed it. But yet, here again, it shows you that the SWAC tournament is a whole different animal. And yet, here we are. Not only we're playing for the championship, but who are we playing for the championship? Jackson State, our biggest rival. Jackson determined to get there based on the stumble that they had last year. So you can't ask for, a better storyline as far as the women are concerned. And I think it just proves to your point, Carlos, that the SWAC tournament, you never know what's going to happen. Our men lost to Alabama A&M. Who would have thought that? Brian Fulford said the other night the Vegas odds had us winning the tournament. We played our worst half of the year at the worst time of the year. We won 9 in a row. Grambling's women have won 11 in a row. And so does the regular season matter? I think it does in terms of seedings, but once you get to the tournament, all bets are off. And I think the Lady Braves are cashing in on this good momentum. There's good synergy. There's good energy, and they're playing their best basketball the whole year.
Right. And Charles, I was man, that was a fantastic game. You know, we called the game on radio, and I was so happy and proud for Coach Gilbert. But I almost had a heart attack, Charles. when you have only two team fouls and no very little time left on that clock, a team should not get a shot off against you. You use those 2 fouls. They only had, think about it now, Charles. They only had 2 team fouls, and they were able to get off 2 shots. That should not happen. So I saw the assistant coach after the game, and I said, "Hey, coach, could I ask you what came into the decision not to foul?" He's, "Coach, I'm gonna just be honest. We didn't think that we needed to foul." So, and I'm saying, no. But they won the game. It worked out. It worked out. But normally, if you got two fouls to give, you don't let that other team run their offense. You go ahead and see that they hit the big 3, but you all still came back and won the game. But with only 2 team fouls, you had two fouls to play with now.
Yeah.
Yep. And I almost had a heart attack up there looking when that came. Like, wait a minute, what are they doing?
And you know, go ahead, Willard.
I just wanted to jump in real quick, and hats off to the coaches at Alcorn. I mean, they've done a great job. Who else would you want to play today outside of your biggest rival? I mean, if you can't get up for this, I mean, what can you get up for? But for Jackson State, it's going to pretty much serve the same purpose because it's their rival too, and they're going to be up and they're going to try to get after it. I just want to say with Coach Johnson, the Southern men's basketball coach, and the job that he's done, I believe he just ducked the kiss of death by losing this last game. because if he was playing today, okay, if he made it and he made it to the championship game, the expectations would be out of the roof in terms of next year and moving forward. So while you never wish for a team to lose or anything like that, I think it was better for him to have dropped the one that he did, and I mean, he accomplished all of the little goals along the way in terms of the kids buying into his routine, in terms of him coming in and putting in his system and the kids buying into it, that sort of thing. The discipline factor, and everything that goes along with that. He's put out there in terms of what he will and will not go for, that sort of thing. And at the end of the day, I think he's established something, early on that's going to take him down the line. But I really believe he ducked the kiss of death, because had he been in that championship game today or what have you, then the expectations moving forward, geez, how can you stay on top of that? So.
and guys, we always talk about expectations, and I understand on this show sometimes the Jaguar Nation. I see how y'all be looking like, wow, you can't never satisfy the Jaguar Nation. Now, I'm just speaking on my behalf, but I do have the gauge on how they feel. Yeah, and the expectation is the word that you use all the time. But look, you got to be realistic. I said a couple of weeks ago, me personally, he exceeded my expectations. He did very well. The best is yet to come. Yeah, they got to get some more height and length, and I think he will get that done. He knows what he needs to do to get better. And it's always tough. Like Coach Funches, he won the tournament last year. Now this year you're losing the first game. So with that being said, before we go to a quick time out, it is a great story with Alcorn State women has done. But on the women's side today, early quick predictions. Who gets this ball game after about 6 p.m. tonight? Will Jackson State hoist up the championship trophy in the nets, or will it be Alcorn State? Coach Pettaway?
Well, I'm gonna lean toward Jackson State for this reason only. They have the depth. If to me, if Coach Kilbert had some depth, I think he could stay on the floor with Jackson State. But I think in the end, Jackson State will wear them down because he's only playing at 7, maybe 8 players, and I just don't think that's enough to go against Jackson State. But they have a great player in Destiny Brown. Man, I love that young lady.
She's done well.
You remember now? I told you at our place that young lady is special. She is special, and I hope with the portal and the NILs and all that, I hope she remains at Alcorn. But I think somebody might come and get her because she's a very special person. But if picking today, I would go with Jackson State because of depth. That's it. That's it. If we play 7-on-7 or 8-on-8, I would go. My pick would be Alcorn because I think they're on a roll, and I think they got the right chemistry at the right time. But because of the depth, I think Jackson will come out on top.
Wheeler, and then Charles, and then
I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go with the Lady Braves today. I think they can slow the tempo down. That's going to be more to their liking. I think the momentum gained from the last 2 contests is going to help carry them over the top. I mean, they're feeling it right now. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. On the flip side, don't know if the expectations for Jackson State are wearing thin on them. Maybe Alcorn can use that to their advantage. Maybe they throw it all out the window and run them out the gym. But I just think that right now, Alcorn has the tactical advantage, and it may be enough to get them over the hump. Like I said before, it's easier to slow a team down than it is to speed them up. And so I just think that, the Lady Braves might get it done today.
Charles?
Well, you know where I'm leaning. The Lady Braves are playing with house money. Nobody thought they would be here. Nobody. There's a commercial. Nobody beats a Cannon deal here in Jackson. Nobody thought we would be here. And with that, you can just let it all fly. And I think the Lady Braves defensively can slow Jackson enough. Now, I will say offensively, we can't afford the turnovers. One of the reasons why we're in this championship game, we're one of the bottom teams in the league in free throw shooting. We have shot unbelievably from the free throw line. I think we only missed 1 free throw against Southern University in the second half. That's what helped us win that game. We did a nice job against Grambling. You talk about depth. We only are playing 8 players, guys. We got 9 on the roster. We're only playing 8. Janae Anderson hasn't seen the floor yet in the tournament. So we know what we're up against. If the Lady Braves can slow this game down and get Jackson to think instead of react and play, because the pressure is all on them. They came up short last year. They went 18-0 this year. They did it last year, didn't get there. Who's the pressure on? Is it on the Lady Braves or is it on Jackson State? I think it's on Jackson State. And I think if there's one team that can match up with them in terms of pace and tempo and slow the game down and muck this game, you hear the word muck, M-U-C-K. The Lady Braves can muck this game, they'll have a chance to win the game. If they hit free throws, cut down on their turnovers, and Destiny Brown cannot get in foul trouble. Right. Those are some of the things that hurt us in some of these games, guys. Key players getting in foul trouble. So the pressure is all on Jackson. Alcorn has absolutely nothing to lose. And I think when you have a team like that, that's got a wave of momentum. Jackson's the deeper team, no question. But Grambling was the deeper team. Southern was the deeper team. who won those games. Now,
I don't know that this time of the year you playing a whole bunch of kids anyway.
Right.
You know, if you're going 8, maybe 9 deep at the most,
yeah,
you know, that's pretty much about it. I think if you're going past there, you're drawing straws. You know, so I mean, you know, you got your starting 5, you got a sub for, you know, almost every position that's out there on the floor. You keep it moving. You know, from a coaching point of view, you know, this time of the year, I wasn't playing any more than maybe 8, maybe 9 at the most. You know, but I wasn't running 5 in and 5 out, you know, all that sort of thing and stuff. I mean, you know, the goal was to try to establish some rhythm, you know, get some things going with my horses, my better players, you know, getting them some rest here and there whenever possible, whenever situation will allow it, and rolling the dice and let's go from there.
Yeah. If I can share quickly about our roster, I see some questions about Coach Kilbert's future, and I just saw one about Zaniah White. This roster could have looked totally different this year. Zaniah White last year was in the transfer portal. She was gone with no intention of coming back. Now, for whatever reason, maybe she didn't get any offers. No one was looking at her. They didn't pick her up. And when she saw that, she came back to Coach and said, Coach, I'm sorry for what happened, and my mind wasn't in the right place, whatever. They brought her back. She cleaned things up, and she's back. Tajane Wright's got her degree. Tajane Wright could very well be in New York doing something else. She came back. Nia McAlthea blew out her knee last year, rehab, came back last year. She had a couple of big threes in this tournament. This Lady Braves roster could look totally different than what you're seeing right now. But you got to give Coach Kilbert, assistant Elvis Robinson, and Lisa Powell credit for keeping the band together and believing. And no one believed but Coach Kilbert. I will tell you that. There's no one that believed that this Lady Braves team would be in this position other than Coach Kilbert. He said, just hold forth. We're going to be just fine. Now, in terms of his future, this is the last year of his contract. His contract is up. Based on what I'm hearing, there's going to be a conversation had probably after the season. You know, we have an interim president. And my sense is that there will be some sort of extension coming. I don't know how long it'll be, but I think there will be some extension coming based on this run. And Kilbert talked about it after the game. He talked to Dr. Cook and said, Coach, I think you got a run in you in the tournament. And that's exactly what's happened. So when you please a president like that, you know it's your last year. I think Dr. Cook has a decision to make, and I kind of believe that Coach Kilbert will probably be given some sort of extension.
Well, I'll leave that administrative side too. And we've had some lively discussions about extensions. You do it based on runs and feel-good moments. In the past, I believe in just giving a nice bonus, but I don't believe in rolling over a contract, say 4 or 5 years, because what happens the next year if you don't be successful? You always leave your wiggle room. But we got to go to a timeout. I simply think that Jackson State is the better team. Quite simply, talent wins out. A good big man over a good little man, a good big man usually wins. And it's been a great story. That's why I gave credit to Alcorn State. You know, a lot of people like the underdog role. They're going to be pulling for Alcorn State because you can slay the giant. And the giant is Jackson State. But, hey, Jackson State is talented. And I've never seen a team that has been that dominant. People have doubts. What people, you say, Carlos? I think it's the feel good. Alcorn State is the team that you want to pull for the underdog. But I've been wise enough to know this. Jackson State's a better team, the fresher legs, and as some people have said in the chat room, Alcorn, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But just on paper, looking at the stats, looking at how they play, Jackson State should win, and I predict that they will win. But if Alcorn State shocks the world, I wouldn't be surprised. It has just been a nutty, batty sport, and that's why you love it. The underdog always gets everybody behind them. We're overdue for a timeout. When we come back, Reggie Theus complains about having to play after playing a late game. Which teams have played over their head? Which teams have been disappointed? Also, there's rumblings I'm hearing, as I say what y'all said, that it may not be in Birmingham anymore. Attendance have been, to me, very bad. And I understand afternoon games, people work, evening games a little bit better. Coach Pettaway, I had a dream.
Okay.
Not that dream. But Coach Pettaway, the number one seed, the regular season champ, and the runner-up, a best 2 out of 3 on campus. I don't know why that stuck in my head. I know I'm in the minority, but once again, the question comes up: how can these tournaments be better attended? And I'll say this, Coach, for the record, I'm consistent. The regular season champs should represent the conference. It's not going to happen.
No.
It's just not going to happen. But how can we get the tournament better? There are many factors people are bringing up. Think about that as we go to this timeout. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We're discussing SWAC basketball tournament finals. We've got a prediction on the women's side, and I must admit, Coach Pettaway, in the chat room, they are on fire. And let me say this. I knew my dream. That's why I said it was a dream. I knew that was not going to go over big. But you know what? I just stand on what I believe in.
You stand on business.
And we don't have right, and we don't have to get into a whole big discussion because over the years, come on, Edward, don't be rooting against me, little me franchise. I thought we were cool. Yeah, the 2 out of 3, it was just a dream. But you know what, Coach Pettaway, I've been consistent over the years, and Charles knows this. And I know what I'm about to say. It's not going to happen. I understand it. I know there's data out there. I know it's emotions, opinions. Because we are a one bid league. I just thought the regular season champion. That's how I've always been. Would be the better representative. Not to take away from the tournament. TSU are back in the finals again in the tournament. So they love the tournament setup. They're fans. But I know it'll never happen. So, I was looking at the attendance. I watched some of the games on television. And once again, it just begs the question, what can be done to have more success as far as attendance-wise? And I know just attendance, and also I know television ratings, the eyeball test, I understand all of that, but it's very interesting the different opinions and takes in the chat room. Yeah, Dr. Kavir, I know baseball or softball, the best 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Carlos, when it comes to attendance in that tournament, it's got to start at each institution. First of all, we got to increase our home attendance. If you look around the league, basketball attendance this year is kind of low now at some of these institutions. So if they're not coming to the home games, they're not traveling from their city to come to the home game. Why would they travel out of town to support their team when they're not supporting them at home? So I think a little of work toward getting your fan base in your home city engaged. Then, yes, you got to find a city that's attractive to your clientele. In other words, there's got to be something other than basketball for those people to come to the city. Now, since I've been in the SWAC, we've been to Houston, we've been to Dallas, we went to Biloxi one year, we went down to Louisiana, in Louisiana, Charles, Shreveport. Yeah, it was Shreveport, and then of course
Garland, Texas.
Yep.
Houston.
Yeah,
Montgomery, Alabama.
Right. So see,
Biloxi.
Correct. We've been to all these places, and it's still the same thing. Even when it was in Houston, if Prairie View or Texas Southern went in it, it didn't draw. It still didn't draw. So no matter where you put that tournament, until we can build our fan bases at our home sites, then some of those people will follow the team to the tournament. That's the only solution. And I think the tournament is in Birmingham because they don't play the football championship in Birmingham. See, I think when we put the SWAC headquarters in Birmingham, in the beginning, the agreement was that the championship games would be there. And then when they pulled football out, that's why I think they brought basketball back. Because the city gave so much money towards the SWAC for them, and they're thinking they're going to get a return on it by the economic impact that the championship games would bring. So I think that's part of the reason why we're still here in Birmingham. Now, if they move it, they've talked about Memphis, they've talked about Atlanta. But if you go to Memphis, what's the closest school? If you go to Atlanta, who's the closest school? So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I think it starts at home. I'm gonna say that. I think it starts at home. You engage in your home fan base to get them to come into the regular season games, and then of course, some of those fans will follow you to the tournament. Like last night, there were plenty of people that drove down from Huntsville in the stands for A&M.
Montgomery.
Right, in Montgomery. Yes. Those were the two when Alabama State played, when Alabama A&M played, those were big crowds. Now, the larger crowds. Was it a sellout? No, nowhere near. But today, will the people from Grambling come up to support Grambling? There were quite a few Texas Southern fans here. Okay, but Jackson showed up. Their people showed up for their ladies, so they're in town. I think some more people will come from Alcorn because they are in the finals and they want to cheer on the Braves. But I don't think I don't think anybody can just come up with one solution as to how you make that tournament better. Because remember in the past they used to have concerts and stuff, thinking that this would draw people. That didn't work either. If they wanted to go to the concert, they went to the concert. That didn't mean that they would come to the game. The only way that I think I've seen this happen before, have a concert after the championship game. Have a concert after the championship game at that same site. You'll draw people in who want just to see the game will be an afterthought to them, but they'll show up because they want to be part of the concert. And you know, one year they also had it in Baton Rouge. I Southern hosted the tournament.
Yeah.
So see, there is no solution because if Southern wasn't in the game, what if they weren't in the championship, or if they got knocked off in that tournament? Where did the fans go? Because Whitney always thought that we should be in Biloxi. We took it to Biloxi. And after that, he said, well, I guess I was wrong. Because he felt that if you had it in Biloxi, the people that liked the gamble would come out to the game. Well, to me, what happened, evidently some of them people was on the hot street because they stayed at the casino. They ain't come to the game.
they were on the high street, meaning they were winning money. Well, sometimes two things could be true at the same time.
Right.
It's been tried. It's been moved. I'm just gonna stick back to maybe somebody else have some solutions. I see a lot of people in the chat room are giving their opinions and have some good opinions as well. I'll just stick back and go back to my corner. I'm just in favor of the regular season champions be representing the conference, but that's not going to happen. So I'll sit back and watch how all of this turns out. Go ahead, Wheeler.
I think the old adage is true. You got to spend money to make money, and I don't know that we as a conference are investing in terms of trying to get the atmosphere to where it needs to be. We the moves that have been made so far, have been strictly from a save money point of view. You move from here to there to save money. You move out of the NRG dome or whatever it is to save money. You're moving here to save money. But we have to do more investing in terms of blowing up the airways and things of that nature in terms of advertising and all the kind of stuff that goes with that. We have to do a better job of that as opposed to just saying, here it is, this is when it'll be, hope you guys decide to show up, that sort of thing. And, we got to look at demographics also. The better fans right now, the ones who have supported and always supported, they're my age, our age. The younger folk are the ones that the younger alums are the ones that we really need to try to get a hold on, the ones who are going to carry the torch, in terms of moving the legacy forward. And you look at things right now, Carlos, we're almost at a standstill. I shudder to think what it's going to be like 15 to 20 years from now, when the older crew are no longer able to, attend and get out there, that sort of thing. So some things have got to get in place. We got to spend money in order to make it happen, so, we need to invest, we need to get a marketing group or something, and get to the table, and let's come up with some ideas in terms of how we can make this happen. But
Right.
like you said, it's not a single idea that's going to make it happen. It's going to have to be a collaborative effort on everybody's part in terms of making it happen. But we
Right.
got to stop trying to save money, and we got to spend money if ultimately we're gonna make this thing happen.
Hey, Willie,
Well,
they've been spending
what?
so much money. Now, Charles, you've been to a lot of these games. Now,
Mhm.
not for in terms of the fans, do you know that they have given out $1,200 and $1,250 at every game? They that contest that they got makes me want to come down on the floor and shoot. No, I'm serious. The winner gets $1,000. The loser gets $250. Who wouldn't want that deal, man? So no, I'm serious. They have done that at every game, male and female, that's been played. So they're using the sponsorship money from the soft drink company, and they put it back in with the fans. I think if more fans find out about it, because I made a few phone calls to some guys that I know that still hoop. I say, hey man, you need to come to the tournament because they can get people out the stands, and you get
Still got
$1,000
it.
if you spell starry before your friend. And so, in fact, to be honest, the two last guys last night, Charles from Huntsville, those are some of my buddies that we talked about. And they got a chance to shoot for the money. So they do little things during the game to engage. They got a hype man on that's doing all the different games and stuff that they have on. But I still say it starts at our institutions. It starts back at home, where we got to engage our students, engage our alumni to come out and support the teams at home, and then follow them. You look at what they do in football. Every time there's a football game, you got masses that follow that football team. I don't care where they play. You got a core group of people that's going to every game. And at Alabama, I'm a part of it. I go to just almost all the away games. I follow the football team. I couldn't do it as much when I coached, because before the season started, I would have to pick and choose what away games I'm going to go to, because by that time we're in the practice. But since I've been retired, man, I go all over the place, man. And we have to engage. We have to get our fan bases at home to participate more.
Well, once again, I'm looking at the comments, and you remember, apparently, the Friday nights and the championship games are the best attendance. You remember when they were on campus, the earlier rounds, and then they moved them, the championship, the semifinals, and the championship to a set destination? I think maybe you need to revisit that again. It's very interesting that you talk about the younger population versus the older population, and then they're going to move on, and then the younger population is going to get older. You got to be able to get it done. And I still think the regular season, the preseason, I think if you get more excitement, you have teams having better records, having a better percentage coming into the regular season. I think it helps.
Yeah,
I really do.
We still got to wait to see how the NC2A is going to do the expansion. See, when they do the expansion, they will determine what automatic qualifier comes from. Is it going to be the regular season champion, or is it going to continue being the tournament champion? I think they're going to go to regular season champion. And if they go to regular season champion, that puts more emphasis on your regular season. Now, at the same time, with a one bid league, what would be the need for the tournament? You got to think about that now.
No, yeah, I understand, but I just know, just based on this show and just others' conversation, the tournament as it is now, that's not going anywhere. And I
I
see.
think you gotta send the tournament champion. I
Okay.
just I just think it's just too much at stake not to. You know, you want emphasis on the regular season for the seeding in terms of tournament time, but I think the
Mhm.
tournament is that should always be the deciding factor. I think it's just and somebody else
I don't know. I disagree with that one, Will.
I just think that if you put enough together to get it done over those 3 or 4 days, and you bite somebody in the butt or what have you, it just makes for more interesting stories and things of that
Mhm.
nature. But mm, I don't know if you send the regular season champion, you might as well do away with the tournaments.
That's
So
I
you
mean,
taking away you
I'll be
taking
honest.
away
It
you
wouldn't
taking
bother
away
me.
an opportunity. You taking away an opportunity for the other kids and the other teams, to
Mhm.
possibly have an outside shot. We talk about being for the student athletes, that sort of thing. Stuff
Mhm.
like that. I just think you gotta find a way to keep everybody in the mix and keep everybody more involved. That sort of thing. Maybe you look a little harder at the regular season champ if they don't make it. If they don't win the tournament, maybe you look a little
Mhm.
harder in terms of trying to find a reason to sneak them in, or something to that effect. Or to reward them. Let me put it like that. Not necessarily
Mhm.
sneak them in, but maybe you try to find a way to appease those particular folk. But outside of that, I just think you gotta keep the tournament in play. That's
It's
just
not
my
gonna
thought.
happen, guys. It's not gonna happen. All you gotta do is talk to Johnny Jones. Got in as an 8 seed. What did he do? He won the tournament. All you gotta do is ask Nate Kilbert. Got in as a 6 seed. Look at where he is in the championship games. I don't know. I haven't polled
Mhm.
coaches, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And I do think we need to put a lot of emphasis on the tournament because the NIT is not going to happen. I was
that,
told the other day that there will be no
Mhm.
NIT bid for a SWAC team.
right.
Period.
They made that
And
decision.
so if we're looking at the postseason, I don't know how much people value the NIT. I think I don't even know if our coaches even value that. I mean, I know it's the NCAA tournament or bust due to financial reasons. I get it. But if you want to promote your program, we've been in NIT the last 2 years. And it does cost to go to the NIT, but the NIT has
Mhm.
tightened up those requirements. You've got to win some of those quad 2 games in November and December. All that is that's what's going to happen. And until we had a conversation about that,
Yeah.
that's not going to change. So the NIT and the SWAC probably won't see that for the
Oh,
very near future, which is unfortunate because I want to see the SWAC be promoted on all platforms. Coach Pettaway knows this. We have there's this college insider tournament that he's a
right.
part of. I would like to see a SWAC team a part of that. From what I've been told, that the team that was offered is not going to take that. And
Right.
so how much do we look at that? And then I'm going to say this about fans. I love our fans, and I've said this on this show before. How interested are our SWAC basketball fans from the beginning to now? Football has taken away the interest in some cases with SWAC basketball. We don't follow it in November and December because we're in football in November and December. January, you got the
Hmm.
NFL playoffs. Okay. So by the time football's over with in February, then we start asking, oh, let's see what's going on in the SWAC. Well, it's the last month of the season. What happened in November and December? We get caught up in football, which is, we know football is football. And so by the time we get to this point, we're trying to play catch up. And I think because we're playing catch up, people aren't quite as interested in it. And so therefore, you have this attendance drag. Coach Pettaway, I think it's a shame if Alabama State and Alabama A&M men's and women's teams don't make the tournament in Birmingham. I think that helps drive some of the attendance. 2 schools 90 plus miles from Birmingham. I would like to see that, even though it's no guarantee. You got to earn your way
Right.
into the deal. But I think for me, and Carlos, you and I have talked about location with the SWAC tournament. You and I have joked about it. Memphis, Little Rock, You even said Alexandria, Louisiana, remember?
Yeah, but you know, Charles.
Yeah.
I, I mean, but you could go back for 20 years. Coach Pettaway, Will, and Charles, we've been talking about, is this location the best?
Yeah.
Is that location the
Yeah.
best? It just to a point now. I'm not trying to take away people's joy because the fans, they want to see a winner. But I say if you look at the whole picture, Charles, you just gave the scenario of because it's a football dominant culture that cuts out the basketball interest. But I remember in the 90s, in the 80s, maybe I live in the past too much, but it was excitement. You had a lot of excitement. I remember Coach Pettaway and those Alabama A&M teams. You know, some people in the chat room let's talk about the product on the court. I think you got to look at a plethora of things to come up with a likely scenario. I'm just in 2024, I'm at a standstill now. I don't know what else can be done. I don't.
I don't either.
Now, there are experts in the field, there are consultants in this chat room, there are marketing, there are branding experts. And we still have not come up with a scenario where it is going to be well, we don't have to have this conversation anymore. Do you think we'll have this conversation 5 years from now?
Yes, we will.
Continue? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss.
The best attended SWAC tournament. I've been attending SWAC tournaments since 1987.
Mm-hmm.
The best attended SWAC tournament was in Jackson, Mississippi. The tournament was in Jackson at one point. And there was talk about, what about, in Jackson where you got Alcorn, you got Jackson, you got Valley, that got a little bit of synergy. But then what if neither one of those three teams make it? Then what's the attendance like? So it's, and so I'm at a loss too, Carlos. I mean, we've been to Biloxi, we've been to Shreveport, Houston, Alabama State. I know I'm missing some places. Garland, Texas. We've been on campus at Alabama State and at Texas Southern, Freeport, and now in Birmingham. I'm at a standstill in terms of what's going to draw attendance for the tournament. But I think Dr. Cavill brought up a good point. I was watching the game last night, Houston and Texas Tech. That's in Dallas. You got two schools equal distance, and the arena there in Dallas looked half empty. And I looked at Nashville in the SEC tournament. I looked at that attendance. I didn't see a packed Nashville arena. So maybe this is not just a SWAC problem. Maybe it's just an NCAA basketball problem where people just aren't as interested in the product as it used to be. The product's changing every year. The transfer portal, you got a different roster every year. I don't know, but I think throughout the college basketball landscape, I think attendance at these tournaments is a little down, and I think all commissioners are going to have to grapple with those problems.
Hey, Charles, you do know that the CIAA is still selling out. They put their tournament, they announced in advance where their tournament is going to be for 4 consecutive years.
Yeah.
Theirs is a sellout year after year. In fact, there's a wait. I think I was told at one time there was a waiting list because when they declare a city, those people go ahead and buy those tickets.
So a lot of giveaways up there too, Coach Pettaway. A lot of giveaways up there. The city of Baltimore has gone out of their way to try and ensure that, folk get to those games, that sort of thing. And so, I mean, they deluge the schools, the high schools and middle schools and all that sort of thing with tickets, all kind of, public relations things and stuff like that. So they've done a good job holistically in terms of grasping that thing because they want to keep it and they want it to stay here. They realize its value and they know that in order for it to do that, they got to get those numbers up, that sort of thing. So, having a partner, a willing partner, that's going to go the extra mile in terms of helping to ensure that people are going to be, in the stands. That plays a significant role also, I think.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's do the men's prediction real quick. Very interesting. TSU, I'm back again to win another tournament championship against the overall #1 seed. How dare, I'll start it. How dare anybody go against Texas Southern in this game? I got TSU and also Johnny Jones. Tell me something different, Coach Pettaway and Charles and Wheeler.
Well,
Who
Charles,
gets it done?
Charles, I'm gonna tell you something. I think a lot of people miss.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Henry only play 16 minutes last night in the game? You know why? He got hurt.
Yeah,
he got hurt, and people are sleeping on that. They need PJ at 100% now to go against Grambling.
Yeah,
he was hurt, Carlos. That young man did not play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that will have a lot to do with who wins this game tonight.
I'm still not betting against TSU. They're gonna get it done, but I could be wrong, Coach Pettaway.
Well, if PJ is healthy 100%, I probably would pull for Texas Southern. I just think it's Grambling's year. I think it's their time.
Yeah.
I'm going with Grambling.
Yeah, old Grambling, dear Grambling. We love thee, dear old Grambling. I'm gonna go. Look, I talked with Coach Jackson at practice the other day. He said he didn't want to share the regular season title. He wanted to win that thing outright. I think Alabama State shocked them in that double overtime, and I think it shocked them into their senses. They just dominated yesterday, and so I do think this is Grambling's year. The year that they had, the adversity playing in New Jersey, those tough games. I think they've been battle tested, and if PJ Henry is not 100%, I think Grambling has the depth, and I think everyone's looking at Texas Southern. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Grambling. I saw Grambling up close and personal. Grambling, I think, is, to me, the more complete team. Even though Texas Southern's the defending tournament champs, Grambling's the regular season champs. Who's the pressure on? I think the pressure's on TSU. And I think Grambling will find a way to win that game and hoist the trophy. I'm sounding a little biased because I'm a Grambling-nite, but I just think if you match it up, Grambling and Texas Southern, a less than 100% PJ Henry might be the difference for Grambling to find a way to win this game. I'm going with Grambling.
Willa, can you break the tie or make it a tie? Hey, I still stand on mine. So
I'm going with the old dogs. I'm going with Texas Southern. I just
2-2. Huh?
I think Johnny Jones got the perfect byline for this matchup. I'm telling my kids, this is our tournament. We've won it X amount of times before. This is our time. When we come in here on Championship Saturday, and I'm bringing the trophies and sitting all the trophies in the locker room from previous years, that sort of thing. I want the emphasis known, that this is ours. This is where we're used to being. This is how we roll, and this is how we're going to go out there and take this thing today. Yeah, so I just, I'm going with the underdog again. And we'll see what's what.
I will say, Carlos, real quickly, I think Alabama A&M took maybe a lot more out of TSU sales than maybe a lot of people expected. You got to give A&M a lot of credit.
They did very well.
They pushed Texas Southern to the break, and actually a couple of bad decisions, I think, hurt A&M in the last minute and a half of that game. Yeah. I think that, and of course, when you're playing a late game like that and a lot is being taken out of you, you got to suck it up and get ready. And I think that in itself could give Grambling that little extra juice that they need, because TSU was in a dogfight to the last minute against A&M. I don't think a lot of people expected that. So that's another little thing I would give Grambling a little bit of an edge on from an energy perspective. The fact that they were the 1 seed, they played Wednesday, then Friday, Saturday. Reggie Diaz talked about that. He's not totally wrong, but I think it's going to take a lot of maneuvering to change those brackets up. We all know what the brackets look like. He knew what it looks like. I think it's just impacted him, and he's talking about it. But, I think that has helped Grambling tremendously. And for TSU, it's just on the other end of it. So I think that from an energy perspective, I think Grambling will have a little more juice in the tank.
Yeah, but Charles, how much would it take for them to flip-flop the two games? If you played a late game on Thursday, you should have a late game on Friday, not the early game.
Right.
That's unfair to those kids, man. And this didn't just come up now. They were doing this back when I was coaching, and I brought up the same thing. Why is the late team that you got these kids in the arena till 10:30 at night? Now they got the 2:00 game. That's not fair. You're not seeing the right product because they can't give you, because they don't have it. They can't give you anymore because it's not there. Let those kids, if you're late on Thursday, you should be late on Friday.
On that note, our next guest, I mean, we could go another hour. Well, our next guest, maybe we can get a prediction on all of this. Wow, Coach Pettaway, Charles, and Will in the simpler times. Here's Carlos trying to get his plug in again. The regular season champion. Reward them. Give them extra advantages if you're going to be in the tournament. Reward them for standing the test of time.
And they got that advantage.
All you got to do is get hot in a 3-day period. Quick gratification. You're in. That's the society we're in. I'm being facetious, folks. Coming up next, Coach Graves, head football coach at Southern University. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong.
Go get 'em.
It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm.
Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show, right here on the Black College Sports Network. Charles, are you enjoying the human jukebox?
I'm enjoying the human jukebox. I love the bands and I love football. And we got Coach Graves. I'm ready for some football.
I tell you, especially after basketball. Wow, that conversation. Coach Graves, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hey, Coach.
Coach Graves, I tell you, have you had a chance to see some of the conversation with the basketball tournaments and the regular season? Coach Graves, I feel like it's me against everybody, but that's all right. I could be wrong, and I am wrong on occasions. But welcome back to the Carlos Brown Show.
Good afternoon. Hey, you got to be willing to stand on your own, even when everybody else is against you. You know, it's an old gospel song. I'll go if I have to go, even by myself. So you got to Carlos.
There you go, Coach. There you go, Coach.
You know,
yeah,
basketball. March Madness is my second favorite time of the year. Of course, football season is, but I love March Madness and everything about the madness. So I've been enjoying watching all the different tournaments and you know, all the games. I'm sitting here now. The MEAC championship is on right now in my hometown of Norfolk, Virginia. Of course, I'm a little sour because the Spartans got beat yesterday. So, you know. I'm laughing as well because my North Carolina Central, the Eagles got beat as well yesterday. So my family members that are North Carolina Central alumni, you know, I get to laugh at them as well. So I'm just enjoying the madness. I'm enjoying the madness. So I love it all.
Well, you know, I can always go back to my little inner circle, and that group is called the regular season champs. We still can go and throw ideas off each other because we're definitely in the minority. So, Carlos, let's just move on from that. It won't happen. But, Coach Graves, since the last time we talked to you, the completion of your staff. Talk about that completion now.
Well, you know, the staff has officially been posted. I think it was about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. The entire staff, of course, Coach Henry Miller is the defensive coordinator, corners and nickels coach, Coach Mark Frederick, who's a Southern University alum. He's our offensive coordinator, running backs coach. Willie Totten is the quarterbacks coach. Fred McNair is the tight ends coach. Everett Todd is special teams coordinator, defensive ends coach. DeMarcus Miller. So another Southern alum is a D tackles coach. Coach Damon Nivens is another Southern alum who's our offensive line coach. Chris Scott is our linebackers coach, who's a Southern alum. Sean Wallace is our safeties coach, is a Southern alum, and you know here's all these guys' history. And Quentin Burrell is our wide receivers coach. And, you know, Coach Burrell is the great grandson of the legendary Coach Eddie Robinson. So, and then, you know, we have our strength coach, Coach Randall Moore. He's our football strength and conditioning coach, and he's doing a fantastic job since he got here last month. So I think I covered everybody. I don't think I left out anybody. I think I covered all the bases. So the staff is now officially in place. We have a full staff, and we're excited about what we're doing and getting ready for the spring. Spring ball starts on Monday, March the 18th, and then we'll conclude the spring April 13th at 1:00 in our blue and gold game. So you know, those guys have been, you know, it's a little trash talk in the last week across the field, offense and defense. And, you know, of course, I still get the label as being a defensive guy. And I told them I'm neutral. You know, I don't have a dog in the fight. You know, of course, offensive guys don't believe that. They think I'm slanted to defense. But, you know, I'm neutral. You know, they won't even let me come into their meeting. They having these clandestine meetings, and off-campus locations and all this kind of stuff.
Wow.
I'm like, hey man, I'm with everybody. But no, seriously, I know they're gonna kill me when they see me. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good. We just excited, got everybody in place, and just ready to go come Monday.
Well, Coach Graves, I've kind of talked about on the show. When you put together a staff, and you like a staff that's going to be challenging. They recognize who is the CEO, but it's a staff that you can, give information out, throw ideas off each other. In other words, I use the term, I want a staff that is as good as me or better, and that I don't want any like a yes staff, like they agree with everything that I do. But what are your thoughts on that? Because you look at this staff, it's very, very impressive. And then of course, uh, familiar with everybody, but Coach Todd and Coach McNair coming on too. I bet you your cell phone. Did you put it on silence afterwards?
No, I didn't. I agree, Carlos. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. Mm-hmm. And if I'm the smartest guy in the room, then we need to get another room. And I put a staff together. It's first of all, that's about the right fit. Mm-hmm. And I have no doubt in my mind that these guys fit what we need. It's about giving these student athletes the greatest student athlete experience and life experience possible. Because, we have a holistic approach. We want to build a mind, body, and soul, and I tell them all the time, on the field, off the field, and in the community. So we're trying to build men champions in life. And so these men exemplify those characteristics, as well as a wealth of knowledge, a mindset, a leadership skill set that second to none. And so I'm excited. Like I said, I built iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. And I also, being a lifer, as they like to call me, an HBCU lifer, which I wear that badge proudly. I can remember being a youngster in Norfolk, Virginia, even growing up. And even when I went to school in Winston-Salem, I remember and recall the old legendary coaches of all sports at our HBCUs in particular, when they had a chance to hire a head coach that may have, not had a job for whatever the reasons were. The smart ones, they grabbed those coaches and they put them on their staffs, whether it was for a year, 2 years, or however long, until they got, another job. And what I saw and what I learned from those older coaches was that it was a lot about experience. It was a lot about expertise. It's a lot about leadership. You want to be able to have guys that you can go to and lean on. This is my first year sitting in the seat as a full-time head football coach. And I would have been foolish not to at least attempt to talk with Fred and ask Fred, would he consider being a part of my staff? And of course, Coach Mark Frederick, I asked him, being the offensive coordinator, about the situation, and he said, hey, I'll call him. We all friends. He called him, and Fred called. He and I talked, and Fred had some other stuff going. And I was sitting in a meeting a couple of weeks later, and he sent me a text. He said, T, don't forget about me. And I said, okay, and we'll talk later on that afternoon. And we talked a little later on that afternoon, and we talked about what was going on. And he told me, he said, T, I got some other things, but don't forget about me. So I said, okay, cool. And next thing you know, about a week or so later, he called me and told me if it was still there, he was all in. And I was like, well, if you all in, I'm all in. And, so we were able to get it done about 2 weeks ago, get everything done about 2 weeks ago. And, I'm ecstatic, not just because of him in addition, but the entire staff. I'm really excited about the staff. I'm really excited about what they bring to the table in terms of how they relate to our student athletes. And at the end of the day, that's what's important. It's all about them. And I wanted to put the right people around them so that they can be the best that they can be. And I felt like we did that.
Yeah. We're visiting with Coach Terrence Graves, head football coach at Southern University. Well said, Coach. Objectives for the spring. I'm sure you don't have a litany of objectives. I bet you have just a few that you can share.
Well, the goal is to get better every day. We want to get better every day in everything that we do. We want to make sure that everybody retains what we're installing in all three phases of the game and being able to execute it at a high level. The goal at the end of the spring is we want everybody, of course, you want to always minimize the number of injuries because that's unfortunately that happens sometimes. I tell people all the time, we don't play a contact sport, we play a collision sport. And so, but we want to come out injury free, and we want to make sure that everybody has a great understanding of what we're trying to do in all three phases of the game. That's what it's all about. It's not about going out there so much of knocking heads against one another and having this, this physical brouhaha, for 15 days. We're going to get it in. We're going to scrimmage and we're going to do the things we need to do. We're going to have our days where we put the pads on and we're going to tee it up and get after it. But at the end of the day, can we execute what the coordinators implemented, and can we do it at a high level, which will give us a chance to have a high level of success? That's what it is at the end of the day. After that, the 15 days, how many guys can we count on going into this season in the fall that we're ready, battle tested, and understand what we have to do and go out and execute it? That's what we're looking for. There's no big slogan. I was asked a question, what was the theme or the slogan for the spring? I said the theme or the slogan of the spring is to get better every day. That's what the theme of the slogan is, to get better every day and execute, and let's be better across the board. So that's what we're looking forward to come this spring.
I'm going to open the floor up, gentlemen, now. Have at Coach Graves.
I'll start. Coach Graves and Charles Edmond, congratulations again for being named head coach. I mean, you're in a special place. You're probably the only guy that's won the Bayou Classic as coach of Southern and Grambling, and so that's a special thing. One of the things I'm seeing as far as hiring staffs, not in football, but in all sports, it seems like coaches are hiring former head coaches as assistant coaches. And you talked about hiring Coach McNair. Of course, I knew Coach McNair when he was here, and he's wonderful to talk to, great interview. But to talk about the importance of having a former head coach, on your staff, and just how that experience and that mindset helps the staff overall.
I don't think you can put a price on how valuable having a head coach, a former head coach, a head coach on the staff. As a matter of fact, I have three: Coach McNair, Coach Willie Totten, and Coach Everett Todd. Coach Everett Todd was the first Black head football coach in the Texas junior college system. And so, to have those three as head coaches, to be able to lean on them and to ask them questions and to throw things out. Hey, how did you go about this? Or how did you handle this situation? Or how did you approach, what kind of fundraisers did you use to generate revenue for your programs? How do you convey to your assistant coaches that you want to do X, Y, and Z? Or how did you handle players in this situation and that situation? I think that's you can't put a price tag on that. That's wisdom. That's wisdom, and to be blessed and fortunate to have three head coaches on my staff. It's just a tremendous blessing because it only makes me better as a head coach. It's not about me being the head coach and it's my way and that's it or what have you. No, it's hey, hey, Salah, holler at me about this. Fred, talk to me about this. Coach Todd, talk to me about this. And then we can collaborate and come together. And if their ideas or their way of doing something is better than what I know or what I believe in, then we're gonna go with that, because as long as it's for the betterment of the program, then that's what you do. And a lot of times, Charles, I've heard all the comments, and I'm fine with it. I'm a product of Rufus and Dorothy Graves. I'm like Ford. I'm built Ford tough. So and I'm
Coach
Ram,
Graves.
so I'm Ram tough. So I hear people say, well, I don't know if I would have done that. I don't know if I would have hired, you may be behind your replacement and all this and that. Well, first of all, let me say this and get this out of the way. I'm secure with who I am.
Come on.
Because I know whose I am. And so to have men of that stature and that caliber to add to my staff, that is a blessing. I'm not intimidated. I'm not insecure. I'm not looking over my shoulder. These guys are the right fit for our program. And I didn't hesitate. If there was an issue, if I felt like there was an issue, I would have never reached out to Fred to even bring him on the staff. That's just common sense. But that's not a flower that grows in everyone's garden. So, but I am totally comfortable, and I'm ecstatic to have him as well as the other coaches on the staff, because I believe without a shadow of a doubt that this is the staff that God had allowed me to put together to be a beacon of light and to build champions within these young men.
Wow. Well said. I'm not speechless most of the time. Oh, man, I have a few words. But you know what? That was well said. And Coach, I've learned something today as well. You stand on principles, and if that means you stand by yourself, you stand by yourself, and you just move on. Initiative, fundraiser. I saw that you're trying to raise some funds for the football program. Where are you at this early stage in that, and what are you looking to gather with this initiative? What is the final goal?
Well, you talking about the Graves edition?
Yes.
The Graves edition is a football fundraiser where we are trying to enhance our student athlete experience from education, nutrition, in terms of giving them the travel, recruitment, trying to give those guys the necessary tools to be successful. It's a football fundraiser that our goal is to raise $500,000 by the end of August. It's tax deductible. It's also a matching. Your employer can also match whatever you decide to give. If you give $1,000, your employer can match that $1,000. So it's all tax deductible. It's on our website. It's through the foundation. It's a great and much needed fundraiser that we're having to enhance our program, because we all know that college athletics, it's about dollars. It's about money. You have to be able to go out there and solicit and raise the necessary dollars to help float your program. And so we're doing those things. We're reaching out. We have some people that are doing some things that are really sewing into the program, and enough. We say 500,000. I believe it's going to be more than 500,000, because I just believe that. I believe in people will pour into what we're doing and how we're doing it. You can actually see, it's a running time of the donations on when you go and you want to give, you can see how much you gave, where it is at the time. So everything is transparent. And again, it's and I say it all the time. We need Lottie Dottie and everybody to give. On the road last weekend in New Iberia and Slidell. I spoke at a church, Slidell, last Sunday, and I told them, I said, you have not because you ask not, and I don't have a problem asking. And we need everybody to dig down, dig deep to help support these student athletes, these young men, because again, it costs to run these programs and keep them going. And then we want to do things. We do things outside of just the nutrition is huge. That's big now. But also when we go out of town, we want to enhance their personal growth. By taking them to the African American Civil Rights Museum. We took our team to Central High School last year. When we go to Jackson, we'd like to take them to the museum in Jackson and the Edmond Pettus Bridge, and when we go to Dallas and Houston and all those different places, we want to take them to educational sites and cultural sites so that they get more than just X's and O's. Mm-hmm. We want to enhance them. I told you, we're building men, and so of course it costs to do those things. So we want to always make sure that we do those things to help them. And then when it comes to recruiting, we want to recruit nationally, and people want us to recruit nationally, but it costs to recruit nationally. Right. So it takes money to recruit. People want us to come to the West Coast. Well, we need the funds to come to the West Coast, the Midwest, the East Coast, and those places like that. So the Graves Edition is a total collaboration of all those things in which I speak. Again, it's on the football page. It's on the athletic website. It's on the SU Foundation page. You can contact Miss Taylor DeBoer, who's over our marketing and development and athletics, and she can also give you all the information. But the information is posted online, and we look forward to everybody giving. Even if you are at another institution, we welcome your money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
There you go, Coach. Get them, Coach.
Don't care where you got your degree from. We will welcome all dollars. And
yes.
Wisely. And we thank you in advance for your contribution.
Why I'm thinking about Reverend Ike on that one. Money makes the world go around, and you gotta have it. Coach Graves, two quick things. Since the last time we talked, you added some roster additions, and also recruiting is ongoing. So now you're already looking ahead to 2025. In some places, 2026, they're recruiting. What are some of the needs for 2025 and any added roster additions, or will they be even more coming up to May and June?
Well, we'll add a few pieces after the spring to help this year. Of course, there'll be some older guys naturally, but for the most part, you're always looking for offense and defensive linemen. You can never have enough of them. You never can have enough of them. We'll always sit down and make an assessment where we are and what we need in those critical spots. Of course, that I've made mention that we will continue to recruit high school as well. The high school, the junior college. It's a three-pronged approach. It's always been that way. If you ever looked at the great programs in the past, and even what we did here under Coach Richardson in the past, it was always Coach Joe Taylor did it at Hampton as well. Just to name a few, Coach Billy Joe and some of those guys. It's always been high school, junior college, and FBS transfers. That mix works. We will always look at the best high school players first in our local regional areas, and then we'll look at the junior colleges, because we're in an area that Mississippi has probably best junior college football in the country, and then you got Texas next door, and then of course certainly you got Kansas and California and all the different other places that have junior college football, but within striking distance. So we're gonna always go and look and see what we need and who best fits our program and in that direction. So those are the things that we concentrating on. Of course, we're gonna always look at the trenches first, and then my philosophy is we always work inside out. So we'll always work those areas and to solidify what we're doing here.
Coach Pettaway, inside out. You like that?
Yes, sir. All day.
Kind of on the basketball trail. You have your step inside and then outside.
Yep. Coach Graves is my man, and I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. We need more coaches and mentors like you for these kids.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
Well, on that note, Coach Graves, we appreciate the time, and just kind of wanted to talk with you before the onset of spring practice. I remember me and Coach Price would go round and around because, a little bit of old school. You remember those 30 days of spring practice?
Don't even talk about it.
I hated it. Coach Graves, that's what Coach Price said. He would run me out of the building.
Yeah,
literally.
That was actual torture. That was torture. As a player, that was torture. 30 days of spring football, and you had those old military, those ex-military coaches, and all they wanted to do was get out there and go full gear and just collide, all day. And then I'm telling you something. When I was at Wake Forest my freshman year, we hated the weekend because Saturday morning we were going to go to Grove Stadium, and this is before the NCAA had this 4 hour of a day. This was in the late 80s, so we still had 3-a-day practices in the summertime, and then you had 30 days. Wheeler, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so when I was at Wake, Saturday morning, Carlos, Coach Pettaway, and Charles, Saturday morning was like going to a memorial service. People were going to leave the facility, and Grove Stadium is like right around the corner from Wake Forest. It's not on campus. It's Truist Stadium now. I guess they changed it. Well, anyway, but we caught the buses around there, and we had our meetings, and we caught the buses. We would get there. Practice would start at 9:00. We would not leave Grove Stadium until about 2:30. That's how practice.
Wow.
You had practice, and then you had a scrimmage within that practice, and you had so by the time we got back on campus, showered and went and got something to eat, Saturday evening, you were in the bed 7:00 because it was a slugfest, and you survived it. And 30 days, Carlos, man, let me tell you something. If we went back to 30 days, I'm getting out of coach. I'm getting out of coach. I promise you, I'm getting out. You heard it here first. If they go back to 30 days of spring football, y'all move over and give me a seat so I can come up here and do what y'all do.
Yeah. And Carlos, you hope and pray that coach was pleased with what happened on Saturday, because if he wasn't, you were getting up Sunday morning and doing it all over again.
Yes. No.
And now I understand why Coach Price would literally call us goodbye. Bye. I don't want to see you anymore. Because
Carlos, when you walked into the locker room and you saw the schedule posted on the board, and the first thing you look for is dress of the day. And when it said full Monday, full Tuesday, full Wednesday, full Thursday, helmets and shoulder pads Friday, because full was coming again on Saturday. No.
I'm on your side now, Coach Gray. And tell Coach Price he won. I just thought that was so funny. He would literally run me out of there.
Oh man.
Yeah. He remembered those days. Oh wow.
Yes.
On that note, yes, sir. On that note, best of days for you in spring practice, and as you continue for that August 2024 and the football season. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you again. SWAC Football Media Day. Somehow, Coach Graves, I think you will be a hit. You will have people interested to have the conversation with you. So it'll be a whole different world for you, but then it won't, because you are who you are and keep on being who you are.
There's only one me. God only made one. Everybody else is taken.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Right.
On that note, have a great weekend. Tell the staff and Coach McNair and Coach Todd, look forward to seeing them and the rest of the staff as well. And also, Coach Nivens, tell him don't be so shy. Tell him I got to get him on. I got to get him on.
Everybody don't like the camera now.
I know.
He's behind the scenes guy. So everybody don't like the camera. And I mean, hey, what can I say?
That'll be a goal or objective to see if I can get him on.
I'm gonna do what I can to help you, Carlos. I ain't gonna make no promises. I'm gonna do what I can to help.
I appreciate it. Have a great weekend, Coach.
All right, go Jags.
Hey,
All right.
All right, Coach. Have a good one.
All right, Coach.
Go Jags. Wow, we got to take a timeout. When we come back, it'll be more of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
As technology continues to bring changes to the world of education, it's time we also reimagine teacher professional development. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all learning that can only be accessed at a specific time and place. The Stride PD Center is an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that allow educators to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. The best professional development plans are those that include a level of flexibility and choice for educators. Whether you're a teacher, school, or district, visit us today to take charge of your learning.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show, right here on the Black College Sports Network. Charles, boy, I tell you, Coach Graves, you learn something every time, and I wish him much success. He, in his unique way,
yes,
he talked about adding a Coach McNair and a Coach Pettaway. You coached on the collegiate level. As I have stated earlier, I would love to have a person you can throw ideas off, who can keep me in check. You got to have it. You're as good as the next person next to you on your staff.
Right. That's why the assistant coaches have been they're the backbone of the program. You know, the head coaches are more like CEOs. The assistant coaches, they do the bulk of the work, man. And that's just the way it is. And you got to trust them, you got to believe in them. And if you can't, they shouldn't be on your staff. And I have never wanted an assistant coach who did not want to be a head coach at some time. So assistant coaches are very important, and I like what Coach Graves is doing, how he's building his staff, and I think the best is yet to come for the Jags. I think you all got a great staff, and they'll pour all of that knowledge into those players, and then that'll end up putting a product on the floor that I think you all be proud of.
And Coach Pettaway, you would appreciate this. Morrell Mo Carter was, speaking at an event on Southern campus, and I saw him via social media say, "Wow, and he saw Coach McNair, and you used to seeing him in that purple and gold all those years in gold and blue." He said it looked fitting, and you guys, at least I know Charles knows Coach McNair. I've had interaction with him over the years. To me, he comes across at, he's strictly business. He's quiet, but if you want to know something, you just ask him. And sometimes I was a little hesitant to ask him anything, come to him because of how I see him from afar. But once you get a chance to talk with him, very cool guy. Let me bring in my last guest, because he was an assistant, then he became a head coach. And so he's come from that perspective of being an assistant to now being a head football coach, and a little bit of Coach Donald Williams' background. Bruley High School, played there, and guess what? Lo and behold, played at Grambling State University, Charles. So, rumor has it that I won't have somebody on with Grambling ties. That's not true. That is not true. Coach Williams, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Carlos Brown Show.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Well, it's an honor to have you on. Coach Williams, Bruley High, Grambling State University. Did you know from the get-go that you wanted to coach after your playing days?
No, sir. I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do.
Interesting.
Some of my coaches kind of enticed me into it, said, I was always a great leader and I'd be a great coach. So I kind of just went out on a limb, and actually day one, I'll never forget, I walked into the weight room with those high school students, and I saw a bunch of me's, like a bunch of kids that reminded me of myself. And I just remember the positive influence my coaches had on me. And from that day forward, I'm like, well, I want to have that same influence on these kids.
Now, Coach Broderick Frobbs, Coach Doug Williams. We just talked with Coach Graves, the head football coach at Southern University, and he talked about having great people to look up to on this staff. You being an assistant head football coach and then moving up to a head football coach. Did those persons have an influence on you, like a Coach Broderick Frobbs and a Coach Doug Williams?
Oh, 100%. Quick story about Coach Doug Williams. My first day at Grambling, I walked into the field house and the air was broke. And I can remember walking in, and Coach Doug and his son, DJ, was in the office dressed in sweat watching film. And I just remember, like, man, this is serious. Like, they could have walked out of here, got in their cars, went home, but they were consistent no matter the atmosphere, no matter what was going on. They were still there doing what they're supposed to do. And Coach Fobbs, he just came in. I just remember him always saying, sweep the corner of the rooms. Don't just window dress it. And that's kind of philosophy I live by and I coach by to this day.
So now, with that being said, Plaquemine High School, last season very successful for the program?
Yes, sir. And for terms of success, yes, not quite the goals that we were looking for, but to come in, my main focus was just to change the mindset. Get the guys, the coaches, just the whole community to understand the requirements it takes to be successful, the work that goes into it, the consistency that goes into it. So as far as that goes, I think we're still in the process of building that, but we definitely have growth.
And for the outlook for 2024 football season, how is the expectation? How are the guys buying in, and what do you think their ultimate goal is for 2024?
The guys are it's year one to year two has been a complete change for me. It's a lot of just kind of motivating, a lot of just keeping them on the right track. But the guys understand the standard, they understand what we're trying to do now. It's becoming more of a player-led locker room. I find myself saying less and those guys saying more, so that's always a good sign. And as far as goals, we kind of trickled it down to we're just trying to be 1-0 every day. So a lot of times we look at the goals that are far off and they're in the reach, and sometimes it's too much for our kids. So we just come in every day with the mindset of we're going to win today, and the rest to take care of itself.
You know, and guys, we've talked about this, and I'm going to bring it up with Coach Williams when he came out of high school. Totally different now, Coach, with the transfer portal now, and student athletes and the parents. You hear them all concerns about uh, those athletically getting an opportunity to the next level, of course, along with the academic side. Is that something that you've had discussions with parents as far as getting the young student athletes to the next level?
Oh, 100%. So I kind of just always reiterate to those guys, it's harder now. Not impossible, but it's harder. For example, I called an old friend that's coaching at a college I won't name. As a kid, he's really interested that's on the team now, but he just told me straight up, like, we only have 3 high school scholarships we'll give him. And so I go back to my guys and I relay that to them to make them understand there's no more kind of getting ready. You have to be ready. So I tell them we're preparing and trying to build those habits and those consistencies now. So if I do run across a coach or a coach does get to the point where he's investigating me and trying to learn about me, he knows that I'm ready. He doesn't have to have a slight doubt in his mind, or maybe it'll take him a year to just be able to be on his own. So just kind of telling those guys like it's different now. Your sophomore year in high school, you have to be preparing to be able to be dependent enough to do certain things that come.
And Coach Pettaway, you coaching at Alabama A&M Division II, then they make the move upwards. I guess it's for everybody. Should parents and student athletes look at those opportunities at the Division II level in NAIA? Because the goal is to from an education standpoint get that degree, but should we be looking at those opportunities at that level?
Yes, they should, because your primary goal after you leave high school is, number one, get into a college or university to get that degree. It doesn't matter what level it's on. The level, a lot of times, it's going to be that opportunity. You may want to be on a Division I level, but do you have that opportunity? If that opportunity is not there, you better be focused enough, and you better swallow your pride and be able to take a scholarship, as long as it's paying for your education somewhere else, and you still get an opportunity to get your education and compete at the same time. So I always tell parents that, if your child can't make it here at Alabama A&M, here's some other places that they might be able to go to. And a lot of times it's based on your talent level, number one, and number two, opportunity. You got to have the opportunity. Your mindset could be Division I, but are the Division I's recruiting you? That's what these kids have to look at. And coach is doing it the right way. Congratulations, Coach Williams. We need more young people like you that will look out for these youngsters that we have today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree. Coach Williams, have to name coaches, but I'll put it this way: coaches are coming to Plaquemine High School looking for talent. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's all I wanted to know, because I can give my opinion. I think the Baton Rouge area, as always, a lot of talent, and I do see the coaches and the universities coming to the area, because you look at Louisiana, the population, not a lot of people, but if you look at on the NFL level, you look at the collegiate level, it's not a secret. Louisiana talent base is very good.
Right.
Well, on that note, Coach Williams, we appreciate the time. Continued success at Plaquemine High School, and I don't know if they can hear, but don't let too many Grambling Knights come down for the recruiting. I know I can't say that. Strike that out, Coach Williams. But the goal is to get to the next level, both academically and athletically. Any closing comments for you, Coach Williams?
No, just again, thank you for having me. Coach, thank you for that insight on those opportunities. That's definitely something I'm preaching to those guys and going to continue to preach to them. And just thank you for having me.
And Coach, I need to get to a game this year, 2024, so I'll be looking out for that schedule.
All right. Make sure I get that to you.
All right. Take care, Coach Williams. We appreciate the time. All right, we got about 3 or 4 minutes left. Back to this basketball. We covered JSU. It was 2-2, right, on the women's side. On the men's side, did we get a final tally? Was it 2-2 as well? Grambling, Coach Pettaway. On the men's side, who do you have?
I'm gonna have to go with Grambling because I don't know TJ's status.
Boy, we need a tiebreaker. I think me and Coach Pettaway went with Coach A.D. Brown, we went with Texas Southern.
Right.
Let's see. Can we pull one out of the chat room? Who's going to win it in the chat room on the men's side and the women's side? Closing comments, Coach Pettaway.
It's been a great tournament, and I'm looking forward to the championship games today. I just wish they were a little early, 4:30 and 8:30. My Lord, that's another whole day for me. But I like what I've seen in the tournament. I like the way the teams have competed.
And I guess, TV dictates a lot of things, right?
Yes, it does.
It used to be. I was talking with somebody at the SWAC office the other day. I thought the championships, Coach Pettaway, was at 12:30 and 4:30 or 5:30. It used to be.
I know.
And I was reminded, man, that's way old. That's been a long time.
Got to make adjustments. That was the word last week. Adjustments. Wheeler, we're at the 2-minute mark. Closing comments, sir.
I think it's been a good SWAC tournament, for the most part. You've had your upsets here and there, that sort of thing. And, but at the end of the day, you are, as Bill Parcells says, pretty much what your record says it is, that sort of thing. And, I always want to be in a situation where everybody got a chance, and I feel that, this past year, everybody had a chance to get it done, and the teams that are in the championship right now, are the 4 teams that deserve to be there, and, it's not going to work out well for everybody, but, they all earn the right to be there. Nobody backed in, that sort of thing. And so, we're waiting to see what happens.
Right. And Carlos, I'm gonna say this too: whoever the loser of the men's game, we're gonna offer them a bid to the College Insiders tournament.
And I missed it. Very good. Grambling State on the women's side, right? WNIT got an invite show. With that being said, it's March Madness. And hopefully you're not too mad today after our discussions, because quite simply, we just want what's best. And we kind of looked at the tournament and what has been going on. We didn't get into a whole lot about the product on the court, but there have been some exciting games. And that's what March Madness is about. I get it. I understand it. It's just wishful thinking for the franchise, Carlos Brown, to have a perfect tournament. It's not going to happen. But I'll still continue to say, let us give even more advantages, Dr. Cavill. Dr. Cavill is probably like, how many advantages do you want for the regular season champions? Give them as much as we can. Leave nothing uncovered because they earned it from the regular season, and I applaud all the participants. Hopefully you get a chance to cut down the necks. But Grambling State men and JSU women, you have been the most consistent, and I applaud you for that. I want to thank all of the guests, Roy, for producing. We're out of here, Charles. Get ready for your chant. I knew it. Best of luck to all of the participants. Until next time, as always, peace and God bless.
All right, man. All right, Carlos.
Take care, everybody.